Whoa! Welcome to the blockchain basement. My name is Drew, standing in for TJ, doing CEO stuff right now. Thank you very much for joining us. We got Jay Serrano. What's up, man? How you doing? Bobby Crypto, Crazy Oaks, Wade in Idaho. Hey, Wade in Idaho.
Chemistry,
like
bro.
Chemistry, bro. I love it. I love it. We got Beautiful Disaster, Puin 78, the Div, Mr. Mojo Ryzen JM. So thank you for joining us, everyone. What's up? Yes, the truth has arrived. We got some fantastic cohorts today. We got Mr. Decker Bobbin joining us. Kelly Kellum from the BitLab Academy. Obviously, Ali B up here. And the Space Commander checking in. Checking in, Scotty.
Was that a pose from Awkward Shots by Deb?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's just terrible. Oh, we got the Crypto Tony coming in with the GitHub monthly development quickly. Number one development activity is on Polkadot and Kusama. Interesting. 2 Cardano, 3 Status, 4 Decentraland, and 5 Cosmos, 6 Filecoin, 7 ICP, hey, 8 Ethereum, and 9 Hedera.
I have 6 of those.
You have 6 of those? How many of those do I have? I have 1. I have Cardano. I got some ICP. I got some Ethereum. I got Hedera. So I'm in about 4 of those. So good to see.
And it looks like Paper Planes 210X goes hard in the Monday through Friday paint.
Oh, does he?
That's
Oh, man. Well, thank you again for joining us today. Obviously, we have the FOMC meeting coming up today. Honestly, there's, really, I think it's going to be kind of a really neutral meeting. It's been pretty telegraphed in that they're looking at 25 base points. I think it's at 99% still probability that it's going to be a 25 base point. But the real thing about it is going to be the language that Jay Powell uses when he's talking about the future, rate hikes, what the actual year is going to look like for the Federal Reserve. So a lot of market makers are watching for that language more so than the number, because that language is going to kind of paint the picture for where the markets are going to be headed over the year. I think that, just my gut instinct right now is they've kind of cooked the rate hikes to the extent that they can for the moment. I don't think that 16% movement like we saw in the 80s and the end of the 70s is coming to fix this. And that's where a lot of macro people, in my opinion, get this completely wrong. They think there's some kind of massive legitimacy or a reason that our monetary system uses when it's making these decisions. We have left that behind when we left the gold standard, and we're in a completely new phase of how money's handled on the macro scale. So I just wanted to say that I've been ranting at people all day or all week on Twitter, calling for doom and gloom. And if anyone was calling for doom and gloom, I'd think it'd be the guy that's prepared for it. But, it's just not what I like hearing or seeing, because it's really not reasonable. And I saw the Burry comments about, let's actually look at this guy. Pull up my computer here. This is just insane.
You mean the Mac?
The Mac. Yeah, the Mac. I'll make that differentiation here. So Michael Burry comes out just so there's
I agree
nothing
with
else.
him, though.
Very ominous.
Sell fiat.
Yeah.
I mean, he called the housing crisis. Hey, I did too, though. No one knew.
Because he called things like 40 times.
I know.
And
That's
eventually right.
Yes, exactly. A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay. And if you continually call for doom and gloom and everything like that, you'll see the Kiyosaki calls from 2020. Eventually a downturn did happen 2 years later. So congratulations, you win. You can, save the snip. You got to make sure you know where those snipped tweets are, because it's going to take a while for them to come to fruition. I like kind of talking to people about what's going on in the here and now.
At least he was brisk about it.
Yeah. But, this guy completely missed what the economy was going to do in COVID, in my opinion. He's got a really terrible track record over the last 2 years of calling the markets. So, yeah, he can dance around his housing bubble thing still, but completely missed COVID flu season and how the markets would react to that. And then beyond that, we have all these people calling for lower GDP numbers and, just a complete 10-year bear market. Notice we were near Civil War levels with our GDP during the flu season. So, and now and before we were technically in a recession, and then the White House changed the definition. And they were able to say, we're not in a recession and we're going to avoid a recession now. Congratulations, everyone.
Did you look at Wikipedia that day when there were like 40
Dude,
edits?
yes, I
Fucking
did.
Hilarious.
I did look at them changing it live on Wikipedia, and it was asinine. So, yeah, like I just wanted to bring that up, like this guy's being all doom and gloom. Now, this had me concerned. Check this out. Jim Cramer says we're in a bull market. So buy the dip. I was like, I almost closed my long when I saw this. I almost did. I don't know. I mean, do you think he's playing 8D chess at this point? Is he trying to reverse his reverse at this point? Like, where do you guys think that how can he possibly say this? If
we have to give him credit on one thing. He clearly knows what he's doing to some capacity, despite what any of us want to argue about the contrarian indicator. He runs a hedge fund.
Yeah.
He is a legendary trader in his own right.
He's made some good calls.
But the question is, and this is something that we talk about a lot in BitLab as well, is trying to read through the lines of what the narrative is in news media versus what the action plan is. For instance, Jamie Dimon talking so bad about Bitcoin, and then you find out that they're basically steadily building into blockchain infrastructure. Right. Or there's been a number of other major institutional banking players that have talked, even other billionaires that talk so down about Bitcoin, and you find out within the exact same week period, they were buying and accumulating. So are they trying to bring the boat back so they can board it and push those prices lower, but they actually believe in it? Or you have to read through the narrative of the words said versus actions that are being played out.
Chemistry Bro might be honest. I mean, maybe he's being more specific to the stock market, but it's hard to differentiate that between if he doesn't make that clear, because he's been working in crypto calls to his overall kind of scheme in the recent past. Like, I think it was last week, he said, hey, now's a great time to sell all your crypto bags and run away. He might be being bullish on tech, and obviously, tech is giving pretty decent earnings. There's a lot less pain that's being felt, and the lessening of pain is going to be exacerbated by the haircut in workforce that we see coming. And so, in my opinion, it was a healthy haircut. So I know this is going to shake some people up. I'm sorry if you were part of that haircut. It's something clicked in my mind when the flu season happened. They started talking about non-essential people, right? Then we got to start thinking creatively about different ways to create income, to create side hustles, to get involved with disruptive technology, so that we don't fall into that categorization of, unnecessary, basically, is, how I read that when that initial thought came to the media. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring these things up because, it's definitely rantable, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's just sticking to, just the stock side of it. But,
a great analogy here, though, is also, would you want to be busy collecting money and saving money and then deploying it all into investing in a horse farm, a horse ranch, on the advent of the first assembly line for vehicles coming out? No, because you're basically investing into a market that is clearly on the way out.
Right.
Same thing's happening right now. And a lot of people didn't even realize it took, 15 years or so before the pervasiveness of the use of automobile really took hold. But in that entire period, over that 15 years, using horses in the horsing market, because nobody was using, pulled wagons anymore and riding horses around.
Yeah.
That was a declining market that entire time, and people were still trying to double down. Yeah. And so don't be caught investing in last decades, last century's technology, in very, very underperforming technology, which is the fiat currency system. Let's get into crypto, baby.
Yeah, that's I want to kind of go to, there was a really good, pull up my computer, BJ. There was a really good kind of talk about what is Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is.
Chairman Crapo, Ranking Member Brown, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Peter Van Valkenburg, and I'm the Director of Research at Coin Center, an independent nonprofit focused on the public policy issues affecting cryptocurrency and public blockchain networks. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the world's first cryptocurrency, and it works because of the world's first public blockchain network. What does Bitcoin do? It's simple. It lets you send and receive value to and from anyone in the world using nothing more than a computer and an internet connection. Now, why is it revolutionary? Because unlike every other tool for sending money over the internet, it works without the need to trust a middleman. The lack of any corporation in between means that Bitcoin is the world's first public digital payments infrastructure. And by public, I simply mean available to all and not owned by any single entity. Now, we have public infrastructure for information, for websites, for email. It's called the internet. But the only public payments infrastructure that we have is cash, as in paper money. And it only works in face-to-face transactions. Before Bitcoin, if you wanted to pay someone remotely over the phone or the internet, then you could not use public infrastructure. You would rely on a private bank to open their books and add a ledger entry that debits you and credits the person you're paying. And if you both don't use the same bank, well, then there'll be multiple banks and multiple ledger entries in between.
Yep, that's the thing.
With Bitcoin, the ledger is the public blockchain, and anyone can add an entry to that ledger, transferring their Bitcoins to someone else. And anyone, regardless of their nationality, race, religion, gender, sex, or creditworthiness, can for absolutely no cost create a Bitcoin address in order to receive payments digitally. Bitcoin is the world's first globally accessible public money.
Boom. See? And yeah, I mean, and like it drives me insane to hear the talk that there's no use case for Bitcoin. Tell that to people that escaped Ukraine with Bitcoin on their mind. You know what I mean? When your bags are being shook open and the controlling government is completely failing and you're fleeing and you're needing to move that money somewhere outside of the rails of the basic system that put you in the situation to begin with, you can hold it. You can hold your keys in your head. You can have that sovereignty. So the talk of not having any sort of use case is asinine. And you're going to see that conversation completely fall apart over the next 10 years, in my opinion, as we see the marriage of energy industries, as nation states start back in their digital, currencies with it, and they escape, what is the U.S. dollar. And it's not going to completely disrupt the U.S. dollar, but there is going to be another pathway created about it. And that's kind of what I'm calling the technological arms race that's going on in general right now, is this move for U.S. regulators to catch up, to figure out what the framework will be for this technology, to give their overall larger hedge funds, larger money, access to it in a controlled and understood manner, so that it doesn't completely underscore them. But honestly, I think in 20, 30 years, Bitcoin may very well be the backing currency of world reserve currencies.
Well, Drew, one of the things I pointed out today in the morning stream or daily stream on the BitLab YouTube was the fact that, we had an entire year, 2022, of downward price action. And over that entire year, we have to always remember that price action is attributing what the speculative value of the asset is. But true smart money players, whether you are retail or institution, there are smart and dumb money on both sides of that.
Right.
Smart money players are looking at qualitative and quantitative fundamental analysis to see when the use case of a product, service, or asset is going up over time while price is falling. And that helps them identify an excellent sort of entry and projecting, especially with future adoption. And in this case, the chart that I pulled up was in 2021, the amount of transacted value in US dollars on the Bitcoin payment rail on the blockchain was about $17 trillion.
Yeah. Didn't Trump like Visa and MasterCard?
In 2022, $60 trillion.
Exactly.
That is exponential. So anybody arguing that it does not have value, you should also say that every social network in the world doesn't have value. And in reality, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the power of those, the value of those different assets or those businesses or institutions is the power of their network. And so how can you discount how fast the adoption rate and use case through the transactable value across Bitcoin? How can you discount that, especially as price has been falling and is exponentially increasing in fundamental value?
Right.
It's a no-brainer.
You put a price on decentralization.
No, absolutely not. Like it's the most important thing for humanity, in my opinion.
But FTX, but Celsius.
Those are all centralized transitional fraud.
No, I'm playing devil's advocate, because that's a lot of times the thought process. I'm just kind of reliving my days of having finance classes in college. And if I told him that, he'd be like, yeah, but there's no future cash flows. Right. Yeah, but did you see what happened to FTX and Celsius? It's a lot more. I mean, the numbers, we all know the numbers speak for itself. Right. It's just the actual getting the actual sentiment behind Bitcoin is what shoots prices up and down, and also brings adoption. Hopefully, eventually, more price stability, so it can be more usable.
And everybody realizing that FTX and Celsius were an exemplification of the old world, the traditional banking processes. In reality, the crazy thing is, I'm sure that they're shocked that this all failed for Celsius and FTX. I'm talking about the people within the leadership of those organizations, because they were using the exact same playbook that happens in traditional banking. Right. The difference is we don't have the same amount of liquidity yet as traditional banking, so it was a lot easier for them to get upside down. And that's the crazy thing. We have to distinguish between the technology of blockchain and individual crypto assets, and also the TradFi practices, the centralized nature of these institutions trying to capitalize on the value that they can extract from crypto, but they're using TradFi. So FTX and Celsius are zero reflection on Bitcoin and crypto. And in all reality, they've exemplified how much more needed Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain is, because it's also stood through those. The only one that didn't was Luna, and that's
just the thing, man. And here's the thing: is like you'll get into this, and you'll start to hear from people like, "Oh, you're in this speculative thing. It's funny money, And guess what? My response is, it ain't just funny money. This is hilarious money compared to basic gains that you get from your modern monetary theory. This is completely outside of what.
This is laughy to the. Not the bank.
Exactly.
Laughy to the freedom money.
Like, what I'm not looking forward to is when I work my next Magic event, there's a bunch of these people and they absolutely hate crypto. But if they could watch that video, which I know they would watch that and still be like, oh, it's BS. I know everybody's going to bring up the FTX thing, because a lot of the people I work with were doing the Storybook Brawl stuff. So when FTX crashed, obviously the Storybook Brawl competitive scene disappeared. But like, if I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly like what Kelly said, that this was not failure of DeFi. This was failure of traditional banking systems. Right. They were selling synthetic Bitcoin that they didn't even own, and then basically rehypothecating it. But it's like explaining to that people, once they're set on a narrative where they're like, no, it's fake money.
And just so you know, BJ, to that point, there's a huge issue with even traditional assets that is so pervasive that a lot of people don't even realize it. And this is the same process that I was talking about with FTX and Celsius as it compares to traditional finance. In traditional finance, there's something called naked shorts, where people can go and basically sell all these shorts on different financial assets. And the shorts aren't even in the system. They're literally fake paper shorts that don't exist. And if they were all to be called any one of those assets that has those naked shorts, if they were to be called a forward, each one of those, and you can, housing markets, equities, gold, it doesn't matter. This is pervasive across traditional finance, which is why it was utilized within FTX and Celsius, because the players in those in FTX and Celsius came from Wall Street elite. So it's bananas to me.
Pull up this iMac for me.
The iMac?
The iMac. Yeah.
The iMac.
The computer.
Oh, is this about to be funny?
Yeah, I'm about to pull up funnies. Look at this. Signs you are bad with money.
Spoiler alert, we're making fun of the U.S. government here.
You can't balance a budget. You have to take from others to pay your bills, a.k.a. tax. You lend money before paying your own bills. And I'm not even going to say the words that this is. You got to just go look at mainstream media, because they will ban me for saying the things that they can openly say. But it's definitely not going into the U.S. economy. It is going to the East. And your debt is over $30 trillion. Wow. Now, we brought up the debt clock yesterday.
Wait, if you look over there, are you going to Ukraine your neck too much?
I might Ukraine my neck, and it might be Putin it in a hard position by doing so. So I don't know. I just don't want to go there. You know what I mean?
For the win.
Yes.
That was good.
Where's riddled with puns?
Yeah, where is he? I haven't seen him today. I hope he's doing
we're being
well.
fucking hilarious.
Hey, Drew, I got one more meme we have to watch. Morel showed this to me earlier today. Go on Twitter.
I'm not looking it up.
Oh, it's so good. It's naive mean.
All right, fine.
It's great.
I love them. I'll go there.
NAIIVE.
Yeah.
Wait, are we following More importantly, if you're not following fucked up looking cars on Twitter, you're doing the internet wrong.
Yeah.
No joke.
And then scroll down to the one with where the two people are selling eggs. Okay. And it's basically, this is a perfect example of where we're at right now. And people that scroll down, this is funny too, but scroll down to the, it's the next one. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. Let's play this.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure it's muted so we don't get demonetized. But this is the nature of what happens with whale smart money versus the short-term holder, emotional panic sellers. Yep. So now let me sell my eggs for less. Okay, and look at the whale. He has his price in mind. He goes, oh, you want to sell it for less? Okay, let me go and buy this for less. Sure.
Yeah, he had to keep the numbers down because there was a competitive market at one point.
So now what's he doing is lowering his average entry. But now let's see what he does. Now he has all the eggs. And now when the panic seller wants more, no, sir, you cannot get it for this price anymore. This is now moon math to the max. This is why you have a strategy in place and stick with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Boom sauce, fantastic.
You know, and listen, funny. I am given a great deal on my eggs still. Okay, I have not raised the price. It is 15 XRP for a dozen eggs right now.
Yeah,
okay,
neither have most grocery stores. I'm still buying eggs for $2.79.
Well, you know,
I went to the grocery store yesterday. All the eggs were gone.
Or they're gone?
Oh, they were all gone.
See?
There were no eggs.
So we progressed from toilet paper being out of stock to now eggs being out of stock.
I'll buy your eggs, Drew.
Right.
I have nowhere else to get them.
And that's the toilet paper thing, man. That was just insane. And it really clicked in my mind once I saw people, because I've been warning about just-in-time delivery systems for where our food comes, the production process of it. And the shortage of toilet paper was just created by a couple tweets and a video about people fleeing to go get toilet paper. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the just-in-time delivery system doesn't have the capacity or throughput to actually provide the goods for everyone in town. If everyone in town went to go get something from the grocery store, it's gone for a while. Same thing with
Urkelson said, samesies, no eggs. Urkelson, where are you from? Because I'm in Georgia and I was pretty surprised.
No, I mean, I haven't bought eggs in a long time. I am only on the sell-in side at this point. But you know,
bananas. I went to go buy bananas yesterday, and there were none.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that.
Okay.
That was me.
That was you. Unbelievable. You're out here shorting
and tell me that you love
creating
me.
demand. You know, I mean, and this plays back into Bitcoin's demand. Bitcoin,
we're off the rails today.
But anyways,
Bitcoin, there's a well understood finite resource of Bitcoin. It's at 21 million Bitcoin ever.
Well, until Satoshi, makes more.
That's false.
No shit.
Yeah. So, and also within that, I've also been, fighting back and forth with influencers on crypto Twitter about, the actual nature of Bitcoin's halving cycle and just how resilient and insanely strong this cycle has shown to be, even in the face of insane adversity. So think about the last 2 years. We go through flu season, huge negative GDP numbers not seen through since Civil War. We see international conventional warfare break out, everything that all the doomsdayers were looking out for and, digging holes in the backyard for. And I'm one of them. So I know the group well. And then there was also, just the second biggest monetary fraud in history went down within crypto. And still the halving cycle holds true. And my ridiculous basic man line that I drew from 17K at the previous all-time high at the end of 2017, bing, right down there, and now flatlined, and now we're starting to creep back up. So it drives me nuts to see these these 10-year bear market, like then they use the 10-year bear market's going to happen because of this conventional warfare. Well, if you look at the graph and compare warfare to the stock market, you will see that it never took a breath. It literally explodes when it happens. So
oh shit.
What?
Back to the bananas. So there is a banana shortage.
Oh no.
Banana.
And then so apparently there's a disease that's going on, and they're importing them. So what a lot of people don't know is bananas are actually hybrids. I believe they're called Candavish. There's one that's delicious with a bunch of seeds, and then one that's nasty with no seeds. So they're actually active hybrids. But that also means that they're clones.
Ooh.
So whenever there's a disease,
oh god,
it's kind of like when everybody doesn't naturally pick up their own immunity and it's all the same.
It's crazy.
Virus and pathogens can move across like bananas. So this is actually gonna be interesting to watch.
Isn't it crazy how that works? It's almost like nature had it figured out before we acted like we could play God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
If you have clones and there's a pathogen, it really doesn't have to evolve to hit the entire population.
Right. Things move quickly.
Before bananas, we were talking about cycles. And speaking of cycles,
Guillaume
Q said, how many cycles do we have left? 1, 2, a lot more cycles to come?
Should we quote Buzz Lightyear?
Yes.
To infinity and beyond. Not really.
Well,
say like 30.
we got to remember. We got to remember
50 years.
No, but looking at any asset. Every asset has market cycles perpetually throughout the life of that asset.
Yep.
They were, and I think more particularly what you're asking, Guillaume, is how many more cycles are we going to have to really capitalize on profits from large growth and big pullbacks? I think, and I've talked with TJ and many others about this as well. I personally think that we're likely going to have at least one more. I'm talking monster. It's going to blow 2022 out of the water. It's going to be more like 2017.
I agree.
Because once we get regulation in place, the floodgates that are going to open from institutional coming in, as well as hype, as well as now having the legacy of a decade plus of proven history on Bitcoin.
Right.
I think that's when we get like a pump to 200, and that proves that we can break past 100. We pull back down to maybe 70, and then we get that 400,000 to 600,000. But the generational signals are now.
Do you think it somewhat kills the argument of on risk and off risk once we actually have that regulatory clarity?
Bad deodorant.
What? That's to the table.
I'm done.
No, I mean,
I had a real question.
What was it?
Once we have regulatory clarity, do we somewhat remove the on risk and off risk argument?
No, I wasn't.
I wouldn't. I mean, I think that there's
not fully.
Yeah, I think that it's not fully going to be classified as a non-risky asset, but they can predict this asset class pretty well by the halvings. Like, let's check out the halving clock real quick. Where are we at? We have 421 days.
Which food are you on?
On this iMac right here. Oh, there we are. Yep.
There we go.
421 days, 15 hours, 2 minutes, 26 seconds.
Wait, is that updated?
Yeah.
I thought we looked yesterday and it was 421 days.
No,
it's about being 420
well,
today.
it can adjust. It kind of adjusts itself because it has to do more with blocks than times. I think it's 210,000 blocks.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of oscillated between the middle of March to the middle of April, and it depends on how fast those are being processed over time.
Right. And this is buybitcoinworldwide.com/halving. So you can definitely, I mean, it's definitely good to just keep an eye on, but I don't think that this is the last cycle per se. I think that, you know, after we get the regulatory clarity, we get probably, in my opinion, a few nations moving in quicker than others and taking advantage of it back in their currencies. I think that we are going to have sort of a diminish in 2032. But within that, you know, there's still going to be blockchain tech like decentralized science. BJ is always talking about. There's going to be things that are completely out of the mainstream public's mind or purview right now that are going to become, household names by 2032, 2035. So you just have to get ahead of this, understand the technology now, so you know how to expand within it as it evolves. You know, in the short term, I see AI and data handling is going to be the next metaverse type hype. And it's, you know, not really even hype. And I'm not saying that the metaverse is all hype, because, you know, there's still great applications for training. There's still like the, you know, access to your favorite, you know, music person digitally. If you can't fly over to wherever they're playing their show at, there's still a lot of application for it. But 10 years from now, NFTs and the metaverse are going to look a lot different than as we know now. They're just in the development phase, but that's not a bad thing. If you're paying attention to them now while they're in the development phase, you see these updates come, you see the new movements from VCs, then you get to understand where that money is flowing to. The money is always flowing somewhere. Just know that. And, you know, it's not going to be like I mean, yeah, if you're married to only buying Bitcoin until 2050, then you might miss out on some of the gains that are going to be had in decentralized science, decentralized real. I mean, I think NFTs are going to take on real estate.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we just saw, was it last week or the beginning of this week or last week, Tezos, I think it was in California. They're moving all the DMV, all the card deeds to NFTs. And so this goes back to people were arguing last year, people that didn't fully understand NFTs, and it's understandable. It's new technology. They're arguing about why are NFTs worth anything? This picture of a Atari 1980s graphic worth, $100,000. Well, people were missing the concept that this art that was on NFTs was really more of a proof of concept than anything. And the art was only representative of the underlying value. Yeah. In reality, the rails that NFTs go on, like Tezos, Cardano, Ethereum, Polygon,
layer ones.
All these layer ones are the rails. It's like, do you want to go and dig in a mountain to maybe find gold? Or do you want to be a guy with the shack selling all the shovels and picks to the people that have to go to do all the hard work? I'm looking at those rails, baby. Let's get rail.
And you're taking a risk when you're looking at these new rails, right? And I don't ever want to hear the word safe and altcoin together because, this is all speculative, disruptive technology. So those things don't go together. But glory comes from, the best defense is a good offense. And, I see a question, what are some of the good projects? We do have, we've kind of teased this a little bit. I'm pull up this iMac here. This is from the DeFi Investor. VCs, they've obviously invested in Matic and Solana, and that did pretty amazing things, in the investments in 2022. There are going to be some new ones, some shiny new toys that pop up at the end of this year, beginning of next year, that are layer ones / layer 2 throughput adders for proven layer ones like Ethereum and its marriage to Matic. And this is just a short list of them, and it highlights Flow. A layer 1 blockchain designed specifically for NFTs, developed by Dapper Labs, actually has a focus for NFTs. That's another thing that I like, in projects, is to make sure that they actually have a focus. So this might be a big mover come on the next round of bull market action when all the interest comes back. And that's what you're looking at, is you're looking for these projects that capture that interest from the VCs when they see the bull markets returning, when they see the lights haven't shut down. And they're going to be looking for that next squeeze. It highlights Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs, they're the biggest NFT out there right now. They've done really good with the what's that? The Sewer Pass game? Is that what it was, Decker?
Yeah, Dookie Dash.
Dookie Dash.
Sewer Pass.
I mean, it's silly, but it runs smooth.
You have to have a Sewer Pass to get Dookie Dash.
It runs smooth and it works. It's gamifying, the involvement with owning the NFT. It's gated access. It's kind of all the things that I look for in these projects. I need to make sure that there's a reason they exist. Otherwise it's get off my lawn, basically. So Urkelson, Cosmos. Yes, we were watching Cosmos, and I think TJ is into Cosmos, I believe, as well.
I've been layering in at the, when it was all the way down to, I think, the $6 range. Now it's all the way up at $13, $14. But just so everybody knows, I don't want you to be scared about what happens with the price action in about 3 minutes from now. We got the FOMC numbers coming out. And I do want to urge caution on this. Do not emotionally jump in because it's moving up, and do not emotionally jump out because it moves down, because it likely will move both down and up. The whole purpose with these market makers, their agenda right now is to shake off as many people as they can, so you sell your eggs for cheap so they can buy them.
Yes. And listen, if they're trying to get you to overpay for eggs, I'll let your boy. Okay. Let me know. I got organic cage free going on right now.
Nice.
Sounds like my long's in danger though, with the FOMC. I thought it was at 2:30. Isn't it at 2:30?
It's at 2:00 are the numbers. 2:30 is a press conference.
2:00 are the numbers.
We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're getting we're still within range, but we're at 23,079.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and let's go back to this list for just a quick second again, because it does highlight some pretty cool ones. And, obviously we know Polygon did its thing. I don't think that Polygon is done with its market gains. I really think that the amount of partnerships we saw with Disney, with Starbucks, with all these gargantuan brands are really going to increase the throughput of this thing, especially in the next bull run. What they're doing is they're building the infrastructure and the fast transaction ability on Polygon before the massive amount of interest comes back. So then you'll see some NFT special, at Starbucks when you buy a fancy sugar water. So, and then, this highlights Secret Network. I need to learn a little bit more about Secret Network, but it explains as a mainnet blockchain, data privacy by default. I like that. You're getting, yes. Secret smart contracts enable many new use cases for preserving privacy on applications. Decentralized exchanges. All right, I like this because decentralized exchanges are going to be a big talking point in the next cycle. I believe a lot of people got burned by centralized exchanges, and I really think that people are going to be looking for these options. Should we watch this market? Let's see where this goes.
It's coming up right now.
Let's go. Pull up the window, Mac, for me here.
And I'm looking directly at the Forex calendar, which as soon as this populates, I'll call it out. We'll see it in the chart.
Was that say the basis points?
We will see. Yeah, it'll say what the basic, but we'll see if this market rockets. That means it was 25 basis points or lower, and if it's higher, the market's going to tank.
Ooh, this is fun. I like this.
We shall see.
I was able to host the day that they come out with their gibberish. It's fantastic.
This is going to be the marking of if we're going to get the push now or if it's going to be coming, in a month or so after things reset here.
Let's get.
Can we see the 1 minute?
It's like hidden.
Okay, here we go. We're at 2:00. This should be.
Oh God! Was it 50?
25 basis points.
Oh,
so it's a sell-off.
Temporary. Well, probably. We'll see.
Oh yeah, that candle's getting nommed.
My lungs in danger.
Did you get?
Just so you know, I left my long open for this, just to get the thrill out of it. Don't be like me.
May I ask, do you have a liquidation?
Hey, found support perfectly.
Like
look
22.
at that. Look at the wick on the right, and look at the previous wick. It's almost the same exact level.
Yeah.
I think the relief. We have some clarity now.
25K inbound.
And I think we can retest that 24K level, and if we get past 25, we're hitting 30.
I might try to close
watch it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's pretty transfixing for sure. I think that the 25 base points is pretty cooked in. Everyone knew that was coming. That was telegraphed at 99% surety. God, that'd be so boring if it just stays in this range, trapped in purgatory. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You go somewhere, you do something with your life. You do this.
Show Unky Pow Pow what we're going to do.
Unky Pow Pow.
Here we go.
And now the people that left their shorts in are going to now literally have to eat their shorts, and that's when we get those cascading liquidations that start pushing up. It's going to dance around until it hits those, and then
This is fantastic. I love this.
Can everybody just give a round of applause for 2023? We've got some green movement in the market. Salsa verde.
With all the doom and gloom they sold us last year, the market's dead and crypto's dead. FTX screwed you. We're still having to deal with the politicians that were bought off by that skis, but there's still more voting to do. There's still more we can do as people to get that off our backs. Let's see where this thing goes.
Rug Gang said, want to see some real DGen stuff? Go check out Aptos USDT on perpetuals.
Oh, okay. I'll check it on this computer.
I wonder if that's because these smaller markets, they have less liquidity. They have smaller market caps. So the further down the coin market cap ranking, the less liquidity is in those assets, and they can be wild.
And this is known as the scam wick, shaking us shrimp off the side of the ship is what this is right here, trying to shake us off. That I go in here either planning to die or to rise to the top.
I'm a barnacle, baby. I'm stuck. Yeah, you ain't shaking me off.
My brother said, would you rather, exist under a rock or vanish on the top of a mountain? I choose the latter, baby. Let's see where this goes. Let's check out Aptos.
We're on the 5 minute, right?
Yeah, the 5 minute. I screwed up the layout this morning and I hadn't had time to fix it. So I'm not going to. This thing jacked me up too. I couldn't figure out how to change the numbers. They changed the layout in general on me, I think. Let's see here. Beep, boop, bop. Got Aptos up on the
market. This is a good point. It looks like Corvettes.
Covert fours.
Don't you bore me like this. God.
So the 4 is an A and the 3 is an E. Come on, late speak.
Yeah, come on.
He says it depends on what Powell says. This is a good point. This is why the market isn't just running right now.
Right.
Because how he frames, because it was a unanimous decision apparently amongst all the members of the Fed board. So that's telling in one regard. But how they frame this, whether it's dovish or hawkish at 2:30 p.m., that's when this sort of questionable sort of non-sure sort of market movement right now should be quelled. Okay. And it could be to the upside or to the downside.
The double-bladed lightsaber candle.
You mean the Darth Maul?
The Darth Maul. We got the Darth Maul candle up in here. Let's see where this thing goes. This is so fun. I love this. And just so you know, I built this, like what I'm leverage trading with.
The longest 5-minute candle.
I know. God. Yeah. We're only going to watch one of these. I won't bore everyone.
Wait, are we on Bitcoin or is that Aptos?
This is Bitcoin. Yeah, I have Aptos up on this
I just
screen.
saw app at the top, and I realized that's not the coin.
No. Aptos, I don't know. It doesn't look that exciting to me. I'm looking at it on TradingView on the Mac, and
probably looking at a 1 minute chart or something like that.
Yeah, I'll pull up the 1 minute.
So put in chat if you've DCA'd in January, if you DCA'd before this run, and throw in what coin was the last coin you not leverage traded but DCA'd into.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what has people's eyes. And just so you all know, all of us in this room are in crypto, in the charts, doing research 24/7 every day of the week, but there's so much out there that, sometimes you all identify stuff to us that maybe we haven't had our eyes on, maybe left our mind, maybe left our horizon. So it's nice to sort of check in with community.
Lots of near and ADA. Look at this. Yeah, lots of near and ADA. I did H-bar was the last DCA I did. More ADA.
Mine was also Avalanche.
Yours was Avalanche? Yeah, I've seen Avalanche a few times here. Let's see. BTC.
Red candle. We got a red candle.
Gala. Yeah, I mean, Gala's down by like 8% today, so that might not be a terrible one.
I love you, Drew, but I'm pretty sure it's Gala.
Gala.
I'm from Colorado. Okay, we call them mountains.
So wait, when you go to a nice formal event, do you call it a gala or a gala?
That's a gala.
That's a gala.
That's a gala for sure.
That's a gala.
It's a gala.
Oh,
you know what I'm getting you guys for the next Christmas gift for my colleagues? It's hooked on phonics. Yeah.
Speaking.
Speaking.
Listen, I drink margaritas and I live on the side of a tortilla.
Beef vaginas.
Yeah, that's right.
My Jeep Cherokee.
I mean, this is going to keep doing this thing. And yeah, I did see, Gala may be a dumpster fire. I don't know. I don't own any of it. So I'm kind of staying out of it for the moment being. And there's a reason why we're looking for things like this, man. This is, this whole monetary system. This is kind of a really fun. Bring up this iMac. This is a good. God, you're so I know. I love having two computers. All right, so this is from Mason, and he says, my money and banking professor didn't believe me when I told him the Fed's reserve requirement was quietly removed in 2020. And yes, it indeed was. Yeah. So
it's March 26th. That we went to a fractional reserve of 0%.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know if this is saying 15th.
Interesting time.
I like how they call it a fractional reserve 0%, as if there's some indication there's any reserve. It should just be there's no reserve. They don't want to put those words.
Yeah, man. And
can numerator my denominator.
The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve announcement on March 15th, 2020.
Oh, look, it's like I knew it was March 26th.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because I quote this all the fucking time.
Yeah, the board reduced reserve requirement ratios to 0% effective March 26th. This action eliminated the reserve requirements for all depository institutions.
That's scary, dude.
But Bitcoin is a scam.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's a scam, right? Like, that's the thing about the whole driving.
I slam down for my argument every time, and people are like, this doesn't matter. It's like, well, you're right. It doesn't matter because it means nothing. And we're
right.
All
so
fucked.
When it says all depository institutions, what do they mean? Are we talking about the FDIC insured?
We're talking about banks that hold assets for others.
No, they don't hold assets.
No, I know, but
they used to.
Yeah.
Now they don't.
They used to. FDIC is at like a less than 1% reserve requirement. So
like with rehypothecation, what used to happen is you put a dollar in the bank.
Yeah.
They immediately loan out 90%, so 90 cents. And then that gets loaned, and then that gets loaned, and then that gets loaned. And like each dollar effectively creates like $60 worth of value.
Right.
But now that it's 0%, they can just go infinite with that.
And the other half of that as well is the fact that they don't have to. You notice, like with you notice with traditional banking, if somebody gives you a check. Or wires you money, it takes 3 to 5, sometimes 7 days to get the money. The whole reason they have that delay is so they can utilize that money to make money on the back end before they have to deposit it in your account.
Right.
Whereas with blockchain and crypto, depending on which one you're talking about, it could be up to 10 minutes or as short as a finality of under a second. Yeah. And so that has forced banks. That's why you have stuff like Zelle now and Venmo to where you're getting it quicker, because they have to compete with this new technology. Ooh. And it's so stupid that they're allowed to take this money. And everybody was mad when they had the legal finding regarding Celsius depositors, where the legal finding from a judge was that Celsius technically owned that money. They acted like people don't realize the reason that is because that's the same law as it is with banks. None of the money that you've deposited into Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, Bank of America, any of these banks, you do not own that money anymore. Right. The bank owns that money, and all you literally own is a depositor slip that is an IOU that is virtually worthless. Look at the numbers on your
dollar. That's literally just the code within the Federal Reserve. That's them keeping track of it. There's nothing backing it. It's already digitized. It's literally on your dollar. You can look at the numbers. But nice segue about bringing PayPal and Zelle up, because I have this on the Mac, BJ. And breaking, PayPal plans to lay off 2,000 employees and have 7%
it's almost
of their
like
work.
their use cases.
My notes.
It looks like they're like basically being competed with and not performing at the level as the competing technologies.
Yeah, and Cesaro is trying to say it's not true. FDIC insured. FDIC only insures 1% of entire holdings. So sure, they cooked it from 0 to 1%. Congratulations. PayPal plans to lay off 2,000 employees, and guess what? I am dancing on their grave as they go out, because
that's right.
Remember that misinformation move that they made? God, when was that? I think it was like...
You're talking about the $2,000 thing?
Yes, it's still implemented. Okay. And you get Snoop saying, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then you go to the actual website. Yes, it sure is. So it's a $2,500 fine if you say things that are construed as misinformation. So that's fantastic.
So are they going to be persecuting the government then?
No, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, that's exactly the point here. Is like, and you can't find me other than, here, because of me speaking about these things, and I wasn't already built up and big enough to not be a fly to just flick out of existence when I'm starting my own show, or just, going live, speaking my mind, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I do not have any sympathy for these big companies that are laying off people that lived and worked inside of an extremely cushy situation and drank matcha lattes every morning and sat and got a massage at work and all that stuff that just created a
like
really...
Decker?
I was going to say,
massage at work all the time.
As we have a massage therapist that comes into Hit Network sometimes.
Yeah, I mean...
but we pay for it, though. The employees pay for
it. They massage the resolution right after
yeah.
These are healthy pay cuts. These are healthy, things that we're seeing in the market. And honestly, the market and tech and basic tech companies needed to do this. They completely overextended themselves. They thought that they could dance on this river of money forever, and it is not going to last forever. There is competition.
Spawn says, "I love PayPal. They help me do business when I'm overseas. So could Bitcoin.
So could a lot of payment rails."
I'm not actually trolling you. I'm just.
I will say though, he has a point.
No, he absolutely has
because
a point.
I'll say
I'm being feisty.
No, I know you are, but. As much as we want to say like Bitcoin and ETH are these phenomenal systems, PayPal can be plug and play in so many different ways. And I'll tell you right now, I do work in the accounting kind of realm here at Hit Network. Mm-hmm. And when we have to pay people in non-US dollars, like, I don't know, for example, Lira, just because I saw somebody talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
PayPal can do auto conversion and all that type of stuff for you. And pay their PayPal in their local
auto
currency.
Conversions and charge you whatever awful rate they want.
Exactly. Yeah, which that's a whole other thing. But
you can do that. You can do that on the Lightning Network as well. What was I forget what it's called? They just instituted it during the end of the bull run in 2021, right before, where like you can now send stuff You can start in any currency that you're in, whether it's dollars, Canadian dollars, yen, or crypto. Send it across the Lightning Network, and on your end, you can say, "I want it to the finality to be in Australian dollars," and I can send it across to you. It's immediate. There's virtually no fee. It's literally 0.0000001%.
Got a point,
and
though.
it's
He's
immediately
running
finality.
business. If you're running a business and you can't buy your inventory with Litecoin or Bitcoin or anything like that yet, that's where
which is promising in that's where we're going.
Yeah.
We got to fight for it
to your
to
point,
get there.
You're right. We have a long way to go of implementation and integration,
Yeah.
and not only on the technical side of the physicality of doing these things, but also in the entrenched habits that we as business people and retail consumers utilize.
Yeah. And it does have the ease of use, I understand that, but there are alternatives that we can demand as people, and we can just push this into reality, and it will be the way it goes. Like, there's a lot of power behind the people. They just need to realize it yet. It's like the elephant and ant theory. An elephant can easily step on a few ants. An elephant will be eaten by an absolute swarm that is definitely determined. And then on my iPod, whatever you want to call this thing here.
It's a large iPod.
Yeah. Intel cuts pay for employees by at least 5%, VPs by 10%. More senior executives will get a 15% cut, and the CEO gets a 25% haircut. I like that. I like this a lot. I mean, this is healthy, man. This is me seeing nature healing.
Not necessarily if that 25% haircut, and then there's a subsidiary company that he owns 100% of that he sells.
Out. But it needs to start somewhere. I know this isn't satisfying enough right now, but it's nice to see the change. It's nice to see the flow of humanity shift in a more, aggressive manner. Like, and people, in my opinion, like over the last few years, it woke a lot of people up. And I think that it's, a lot of people term it as the fourth industrial revolution. Or isn't that what the fourth turning, I think, is what people keep referring it to. And this is all kind of one and the same. Years. Yeah, it's just people. It's the renaissance of the people again. We need it. We need to take back our sovereignty and fight for it, because it's worth fighting for, man. Like, I don't understand why so many people like safety so much. This is super crazy.
Well, I mean, they like, again, being devil's advocate, they like safety so they can pay their light bill. I mean, they like safety so, again, I think. It is like, especially with these bigger tech companies, they overhired a lot. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you there. Yeah. But I will say, I think there are smaller and medium-sized businesses that are feeling the pain too, where whether it's a healthy shakeout, yes, it's still, unfortunately though, people are probably feeling, I'm just saying people are feeling the hurt, I think, in a lot of different, not necessarily just at those high-tech Google, PayPal,
next is going to be Airbnb and Carvana. Watch over the next few years.
Next is going to be the local rest. I don't know. I think there's a lot more to say than just like, yes, of course we see these headlines of all these layoffs and all this stuff for these big companies, but there's also a lot more to it. I think it trickles down, like just like BJ was saying. That's
and their earnings are up. Watch that. Their earnings go up, they cut off, and they can operate on a leaner workforce. It's just the way that it goes.
True.
And with this, there's stuff happening. This mixed use type 3A movement. I'm not going to say a bunch of words to get me thrown off this channel too, but basically, Costco is designing an 800 unit apartment to be built on top of Costco. Comes with a free membership, room service for pizza and hot dogs. Now, hot dogs are the best stable coin I've seen on the market so far. Still $1.50 all the way through flu season.
There was a Reddit thread where they were going to try to short them. Like if everybody bought like $32 worth at the same time. It's a hilarious thread.
I just wanted to, point this out because I don't want to see society kind of fall into the forever renter class. And the option and the convenience and the safety of not having to go outside of your house to go get some food, and you live on top of your grocery store and your bank is right there. Yeah, the hot dogs are great.
Hey, I live in New York City. That's you're basically describing nearly 89% of every apartment.
I live under them.
I don't right now. I have one right on my corner. I literally walk out under.
You don't even need a car.
Minutes. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's easy for a New Yorker to speak against vehicles because they don't need them.
I haven't had a car since 2006.
Right.
And I'm completely good.
Yeah. I mean, and now.
Except you're in Atlanta and not so good now.
Allegedly.
But I got that Uber.
Permanently in the runner's class.
Don't know.
Always waiting at the end of the day.
But he's making moves outside of it. He's, because you rather would use your money that you had for crypto. I remember you were at that decision point, like, should I buy a car or should I just keep buying during
Well,
this
I pulled out
awesome bear
$3,000 because I was just going to buy a beater.
Yeah.
Why? I can afford much better than a beater, but I was like, I'm trying to think.
Right.
Bear market, I'm not just going to go and take on another liability to spend that I'm only here half the time. And when I'm in New York, I'm still having, if it's a higher dollar car, I need to pay full coverage insurance. It's, I have to worry about it getting broken into, stolen, whatever it is. I was like, I'll just pull out $3,000. I'll get a beater, only get liability insurance, and I still have access to deploy a lot of capital into crypto. And even with that, I came back, told Drew, I said, I decided not to get a car. I immediately put it back in my account, and the moment it hit my account, I put the entire $3,000 into crypto because I was like, if I could buy a used car, this is probably a better opportunity to buy crypto, and then I'll buy a nice car with this $3,000.
Wait to buy a car until Carvana goes out of business. That's my opinion. Mr. Techno Goody with his comment: hot dogs have enough preservatives to make your internal organs permanently stable. So that's a fantastic little call out there. Be careful about what you eat.
What did I buy at the 3,000? I think I got AVAX,
okay,
Filecoin, and the Graph.
Filecoin's a good one. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Filecoin. There's a lot of reason for.
Well, think about Web3. The Web3 hasn't even started. There's a lot of companies out there that talk about utilizing Web3 in their services, in their online platforms. And you look, and it's completely a Web2 platform. So as Web3 does actually develop and get more further implemented, we're going to need decentralized storage. We're going to need things like the Graph, which index all that storage.
Right.
We're going to, So I don't know. It's just it's a longer term infrastructure play that I have that.
And don't really fall for the narratives that like it's only going to be one coin that's going to change everything, right? Like think about overhauling this entire existing ecosystem of data transfer and movement within it. It's not going to be done with just one system. There is a lot of different aspects of commerce and technology that are going to be reworked in tokenized manner or on a blockchain manner. We saw this morning, I think it was, what was that project, Simba? And you can't buy the token. I was like, ooh, yeah, because they're getting in with, again, the Air Force and all these different.
Are they their own layer one, or are they on top of another rail?
It's a private blockchain that's being developed. Okay. So, it's not available to the public. I looked it up. We checked it out after the stream. And, I just want to say this. It was on my mind. Like, I don't think that there's a single other channel other than BitBoy and Hit Network that have the actual infrastructure for the objective thinking that we are capable of doing here at this company. So you guys got to keep that in mind when you're listening to, I listen to other influencers too, but we literally have an objective think tank here. Then all we do is spend time thinking about what's the next move in the markets. We argue with each other about it. We see who's got the better data, who's got the better proof. We come to conclusions, and then we stay open to new ideas as information changes.
And everybody within the office, we do not have a unanimous sort of viewpoint that's homogenous on the market. Me and Ben have completely different ideas about AVAX. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of differences that we allow each other to have, and nobody's necessarily right or wrong. But when you start getting don't
fall for the echo chamber.
It's nice to have differences of opinion and celebrate them rather than like the most of the US right now. If you don't believe exactly what I say, then you suck. Right. It's like, no, screw that. Tell me why you believe that. I want to learn. Yeah. Maybe my information's wrong.
Right. Ben and TJ even have a lot of differing opinions on everything.
Yeah. And I just want to highlight that. Like this, I'm just super lucky to be a part of this group, but like, I think that us as a crypto, ecosystem of all of us involved, you at home watching on YouTube and at Twitch, it's really important to have objective points of views and the ability to, not have any skin in the game and call it as you see it. And I feel that ability right now, and I'm super thankful for that because
Nakudo. Great comment of the day. They say most wealth is made in the trades that 99% of people wouldn't take. Yes. And this speaks perfectly to the whole narrative that Warren Buffett is famous for. A famous quote, you buy when there's blood in the streets. You buy when everybody thinks you don't even want to tell people because, they're going to be like, are you crazy? But luckily we have all this data that's available to us that can show us historical trends and we can make educated positions. But you have to have a plan in place and you have to understand this in order to take those opportunities.
And even if they are saying that you're crazy right now, just shove it down their mouth. I'm sorry, but it's the time is now because they're going to be asking you. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be asking you either way in 3 years from now, 4 years from now. How'd you do that? Right?
My mom thinks I'm out of my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the most fiscally conservative. She's going to be the barometer for me. If she starts trying to, even though I'd love her to, if she says, hey, I picked up 3 ETH, I'm going to be like, oh, everybody, let's look at that data. We must have some bearish divergences. We're about to crash. Right. Because I call it in the BitLab Academy, and shout out to Ugman. He said he had to leave because he's gone to do some courses in BitLab Academy.
Yes.
We have, you guys have no idea how many courses and lessons we have coming in there. But one of the things that I identify in there is I call it the Uncle Larry Aunt Linda indicator. When you're walking down the street hearing people talk about it, getting in a taxi, they're talking about crypto. You're at the barista, they're talking about crypto. That's the Uncle Larry Aunt Linda indicator, meaning the hype is in the market. When there's hype, that means there's greed, and that's when you buy at the top. And then you go, oh, Bitcoin's a scam because it crashed. Well, you were looking at emotion and the excitement of it versus looking at the data and waiting for fundamental analysis to overshadow what you're seeing in the technicals.
Yeah. What you got, Decker?
Well, really quickly, that is exactly right, because in 2017, I wasn't in crypto in I was, but it was different.
XRP.
It was XRP, and it was kind of after it was that alt run. But anyway, I wasn't even in crypto, and I was at Buffalo Wild Wings and hearing waiters talk about, man, maybe I should buy some Bitcoin. This was it was at $17,000 in 2017.
Right.
And none of them, I would say out of 1,000 people that said that, as excited as they were at 17,000 or this most recent 69,000.
Nice.
Oh my God, it's 69,000, it's 68,000, whatever it is. Once it got below 30, oh no, I'm not buying that.
Or they sold.
What the heck?
What you got,
Come
BJ?
on.
See someone die?
You said 69.
Oh,
nice.
I did what my Pavlovian response
demands
me to do.
It's natural. I understand these reactions. God, this candle, other than the Darth Maul wick, I mean, it is boring.
Well, it's waiting on we have 5 minutes left for the press conference, and this isn't going to be an immediate, it's not 2:30. In 5 minutes, the market's not just going to be unleashed, because he tends to talk for about 20 minutes, and there's going to be a context. There's going to be a nugget, probably somewhere a few minutes in, that is going to sort of not synopsize, but is that even a word?
No, not even.
But we about to transmogrify your day.
Don't do that.
No, it's
don't do that.
It'll sort of encapsulate what their general sort of idea is about moving forward, and that's what everybody's waiting on.
Yeah,
what
he's going to be
synopsize is a word. What's up?
Nice.
I went to Columbia University.
Well, I just expanded my vocabulary.
Did you really go to Columbia?
Yeah,
that's pretty lit.
Good for you. Authorization. Thoughts on the BNB Greenfield news? Do we have any news on that?
No, I didn't pull that for the morning live, but I'll check into it and see what's going on with it. The only thing I saw from Binance early this morning, we were setting that up, was Binance partnered up with an airliner in Kazakhstan. And
very nice.
But yeah, I'll absolutely check out that Greenfield news. If it's big or something kind of ground shaking, we'll have it on the morning stream and or ATB. That's what we're going to be doing after this, is setting up ATB, making sure we got all the news squeeze, all the news that broke while we're sitting here talking about this right now. We also stream on ATB at 5 p.m.
Check out CZ tweet.
All right, let's go. Let's go find it out. I'm going to find out.
Not.
I'm going to find out right now. Let's see. CZ. Did you guys see that AI picture CZ has? Look at this AI picture. Check this out. Dude.
Still blows.
I love this.
That's kind of cool.
I know.
That looks nothing like I remember any of his previous photos looking like, but it's nice. Nice colors.
It looks like him though, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, okay. So BNB Chain is excited to announce the release of the BNB Greenfield white paper. This is a new standard for Web3 data ownership utility, introduces a new structural and economic paradigm for the data in the Web3 era. Okay. Well, I like that they're moving towards the data aspect of things. Thinking ahead. Let's see what here. Got BNB Greenfield blockchain and storage providers. Like it. BNB Greenfield dApps, centralized applications, existing BNB chain dApps. Okay. So looks like that basically users can upload their data with a unique access and unique permissions. I like it. Storage providers store data off chain with proper redundancy and backup. Metadata for users and BNB ledger is stored on the Greenfield blockchain. I like that. I'm a fan of that. I like this very much. I'm a fan of CZ. Everyone that says that he's going down, I don't think so. I think you're wrong. And I'm going to stick to that because I actually take a side until I get information that tells me otherwise. You know,
shout out to Multi-Sig Dummy for going to clap Ben's cheeks at the book signing.
Hey,
yeah, have fun.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys, some of you
don't
guys
break your wrist.
Yeah, don't hurt that wrist. He's been working out.
Yeah,
He's got those buns of steel now. Buns of steel. So yeah, I think that's almost all the time we have. This stupid graph never did anything.
It's perfect.
Who
we
are we rating?
up.
Are we rating someone?
Let's see.
Let's raid Powell. Chair Powell.
Hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah, let's see if anyone
is Joel on.
Yeah, Joel's on.
Is he in a pretty dress?
No.
Oh,
dang it!
Did you guys? Yeah, some people. Peanut Pecker likes the den. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We got Rug Gang, we got the Blig 88, Blaze, a bunch of new names in here. I like seeing it. Vlonster, Author Raisin, Dude, What Does Mine Say? Peanut Pecker again, Multi-Sig Dummy, Aztec Warlord. Hey, I like that name. Techno Goody Nakudo. Thank you very much for joining us today, you guys. It's stay researching,
here on Twitch.
Stay involved. Tell your parents right now, and then be quiet when the next bull hits so you don't get in trouble. But until then,
love you guys.